Hey, secret friends. It's the titular Charlie Carden here. I'm sorry, I'm not in the title of it. I made that up. But I'm here with Peter and Missy, two great contributors to the Secret Friends Unite Network. Peter is with me in every episode that we do of the Code 47 podcast. Missy is a great member of the USS Grant Petoskey, which is the Star Trek fan club that we run here in Michigan. Guys, say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Missy, you're so shy. Look at you. Well, no, we'll get you warmed up. Missy is actually going to be joining us in February as a co-host on Code 47 when April and I are on the Star Trek cruise. But anyway, bringing you this special message today because the three of us have just had an uproarious conversation with Mr. John Billingsley, Dr. Phil Phlox, he calls himself Phil Phlox, of the great show Enterprise. It was wild, and the thing is, with our upcoming Patreon, which going to be launching in January. This was due to be one of the segments that we were going to integrate kind of into that matrix. But Phil came on. He told us all about his work with the Hollywood Food Coalition, with an event called Trek Talks, which is going to be happening on January 14th, a virtual event. And we want to do everything that we can to support him, which is why you're listening to this right now. What proceeds for the next almost 90 minutes is totally wild and crazy. You get to hear Mr. Billingsley talk all about his career, his time on Star Trek, and everything else, and even a special appearance by his awesome wife, Bonnie Frederici. It was nuts. You know. What's that?
Spoilers.
What, Peter?
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. But it's worth listening to. But anyway, wanted to let everybody know that this is what they have to look forward to by becoming a Patreon of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. We've got some other great surprises in there that you just might hear about. That he really twisted my arm and told him some of the other stuff we got lined up. But we're going to have a number of really amazing programming perks and different things that will be coming your way here in mid-January. So keep your eyes out for it. But in the time in between, please enjoy our interview with John Billingsley, and we will see you out there. Hello, Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. We are back here again with one of your great new Patreon segments. We're very, very excited today through the largesse of the good folks at Cool Waters to bring to you another exciting guest, which if you're watching us on video, you can already see this man. So I know it's like, get on with it, Charlie, already, right? So Mr. John Billingsley is joining us today. As always, it is myself, my side guy, my chief engineer, Peter Stein, and our ship's counselor, Missy. Mr. Billingsley, welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. How are you today?
Peachy keen. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. I note that I'm the only person who brought a martini. Did we not all agree?
I know the three of us agreed to come in uniform. So we're exactly. I got to get back to sitting in the chair. Peter's got to be working the engine. Missy's got to be talking people off that ledge, as a ship's counselor.
I understand. But I'm the person who's ultimately be judged on the content of what I have to say, and I'm the one getting inebriated. So
boy, this guy is way ahead of us. What the
I did have some rum and ale beforehand, so I will throw that out there.
My goodness. Well, for anybody listening to the sound of my voice who is been living under a rock for the last 25 years, Mr. Billingsley, best known for playing Dr. Phlox on Star Trek Enterprise, of which I know you've got three very, very big fans here. And we're very excited to have you, and we're very excited to learn a little bit more about Enterprise. So without further ado, Enterprise new, I apologize. Without further ado, I'm going to kick that back to Missy to let her get us rolling.
I'm just going to have to note that there is a bizarre subsection of the American population that knows me best for having molested children on various crime shows over the arc of the last 25 years. An interesting in America. I can only say that when I meet a fan, I can tell whether they're a Star Trek fan or a procedural fan on the basis of what they look like.
You might say neither the twain will meet, but you know what? You just don't know. It's a rich patchwork of strange stuff in American culture and what people dig. So who's to say?
Wrapped up in myself as the counselor. So what that says about us and my profession, I'll leave to your opinions.
I don't know. But at any rate, I'm gonna, like I said, Missy, please feel free to kick us off.
All right. Well, to start, there's always the groundwork. So prior to being my favorite character on Star Trek Enterprise, as is a lot of persons, what was your exposure to Star Trek?
Well, of course, I'm 62 going on 63. I'm 63 going on 16, actually. But I started watching Star Trek when I was 6 years old, when it first premiered in 1966. I don't have incredibly specific memories of it, but I definitely remember it was on Friday night on NBC. And then I remember really kind of grokking it when it was on in syndication when I was living in the New York area in the early 70s. It was on Channel 11. I'd come home after school, and I certainly watched all the episodes of the original series many, many times. But then I was off living my life when Next Gen was on, Deep Space, Voyager, either traveling or running theater companies or breaking into film and television. And so I wasn't really kind of particularly cognizant of the franchise during those years. So when I got Enterprise, I definitely had some catching up to do. And fortunately, I have a number of pals who are deeply, deeply knowledgeable. So they introduced me to all the various alien species that I didn't remember. You know, what's a Cardassian? What's an Andorian? Who are these people? What do they do? Of course, nobody knew what a Denobulan was. I got to make that up all by myself.
Right. Excellent. And really segueing right along. So with being Phlox, you are in the Star Trek zeitgeist forever. What has that been like? And what's something you expected or ever imagined, going into Enterprise? Was it something you ever expected? Excuse me.
Well, even though I wasn't necessarily steeped in the lore of the franchise, I certainly had my finger enough on the pulse of popular culture to understand when I got the show that I was part of something remarkable and historic, and that if I chose to be a deep part of it and go to conventions and embrace the fan community, that I would have a radically transformed life. And fortunately, I think for me, that was something that appealed to me. And it's been a great blessing. I've gotten to travel the world and meet a ton of amazing people, including yourselves, but also all the various folks who are on all the other shows. So it's a real familial feeling, which is oddly, to a certain extent, kind of behind an impulse of mine to put together, which I'm sure we'll talk about, this thing called Trek Talks, which we're doing on January 14th, which is designed to raise awareness and funding for the Hollywood Food Coalition. But it's kind of fundamental. It's sprung from a place of, I've gotten to have so much affection and appreciation for everybody who's involved in the world of Star Trek, that a show that's kind of about how we all get together to give back and do more in our communities really appealed to me. It's kind of the impulse behind this 8-hour Jerry Lewis-esque telethon storytelling.
Wow. That's awesome.
And as for being a Denobulan particularly, yes, it is sort of, it was very cool. If you get cast as a Vulcan, you get cast as a Klingon, it's basically, here's the binder. And it doesn't mean you're bringing yourself to it, but you are operating with a very specific set of constraints and obligations. Getting cast as an alien that no one had met yet, I mean, obviously, you still have the words on the page. I don't get to make shit up. But I certainly feel like it was very liberating to not feel that I had to stay within any particular set of cultural obligations. The Klingons are, the Vulcans are, the Andorians are. We don't know what the Denobulans are. So it got to me to start from a place of, he's obviously joyful, he's obviously exuberant, he's obviously curious, he's obviously playful. Let's just go from there and see what happens. And that was a wonderful platform from which to kind of begin to work on a role.
Yeah. So how much creative input did you have with doing Phlox and by extension the rest of the Denobulans on the show?
You don't. It's in a weird way. I mean, I'm sure. Well, Bob Picardo, of course, he would knock on the door every third day, and he'd say, "Make me an opera singer. I want to have sex at 7 and 9." Oh, sure, Bob. I had no such luck. So I don't know that I had the kind of input that an actor in his daydreams might fantasize about. But I felt like there was a certain kind of simpatico. Probably, they cast you because they see something in you that's appealing to them. So whatever qualities they saw in me, they, I think, wrote into. So to a certain extent, I would just say that while it wasn't so much about my having input, I never felt, with occasional exceptions in terms of backstory, that we weren't traveling on the same railroad track, you know.
Cool.
Excellent.
I wouldn't have ever thought that there was such a thing as a Denobulan infantry and that I was a medic in it. So there were moments in the character's backstory where I thought, about that, but that's you gloss over it. The stuff that I loved, it was fun, was that he was polyamorous, that he was,
Were they ever?
yeah. And I mean, I thought at first, because you don't know anything about Denobulans, I thought, well, why have we never seen a Denobulan before? I thought, well, perhaps it's a monastic species. There are only 9 of us left. So I've scrammed from the planet because there's nobody to talk to anymore. Well, it turns out we're the fuck bunnies of the universe, and we all have multiple wives and a gajillion kids, and we're living, 18,000 people in an apartment building. It's like, I got out of there just to kind of have a little elbow room.
Yeah, you got out of there because there's 52 kids at home that all want something.
Yeah, right. Everybody wants something. Daddy, daddy, daddy.
Exactly. Which shows to go you that no matter what you might think you're doing when you're writing a Bible for yourself, you're not the writer. So your job is to go with the prevailing wind. And if there's something, this happens occasionally on a show, if there's something that just feels so like wrong, you might call the producers and say, hey. But generally speaking, that's not what they hired you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's great for the fun stuff. So, but what was the most challenging part of the Denobulans to kind of have to bring to light and embody?
To be honest with you, there wasn't anything about the species, about being a Denobulan that I found. I mean, all joking aside, I have played in my career any number of sadists and losers and lunatics and nut jobs. You have to do some kind of thinking to kind of buy into the worldview of somebody who gets off on damaging other people. Dr. Phlox, it didn't take anything for me to buy into the worldview of somebody who essentially was, having the time of his life. And who I think, and this is what I always thought, knew he was probably going on something of a suicide mission, but has a kind of a Zen-like attitude and thought, I've lived a wonderful, rich life. I've done everything I could possibly want to do. This is going to be my last adventure. It's probably not going to end well, but what a wonderful way to go out. I think Dr. Phlox, on some level, kind of as he began to move forward into the show, optimism, yes, but his form of optimism to me was always sort of, a kind of a pragmatic appreciation that life ends for all of us, and that we all have a certain amount of control over the quality of the journey we're on while we're on it. That there might have been a slight difference of opinion between me and the writers about how you would language that or how you would interpret that. But I never had, there was nothing about playing the guy that was problematic the way that some other parts are problematic. The rubber head, of course. Yeah.
Big time.
That's not the funnest part of your day. It's like 2.5 hours in the makeup chair and 45 minutes to take it off. And putting in those big fake eyeballs that kind of irritate you by the end of a 14-hour day. But on the other hand, I only worked 1 day out of 6 most of the time. So I had nothing to complain about. You've all heard my song. Have you heard my song? Maybe you haven't. I think please. Heard all of my stories. I wrote a song that I used to sing to the other cast members to irritate them because I loved to irritate them.
Yes.
Oh no, yes.
Perfect.
I used to sing, day off, 6 days off and the check still come. Character actor in the sun, 6 days off and the check still come. That did not. Eventually Dominic said, quit singing that fucking song.
Missy, you got him to sing without having to ask him. That is because it was later. That was later on in the program. This guy is
right on top of
he's
it.
Also somehow a betazoid. He can read our minds. It's amazing. He must have read the script.
I had no idea. Yes. Oh well, I have any number of songs that I've written about the show that I sing to myself all the time.
Nice.
You should put out an album.
I should.
Oh my God.
Bonnie Gordon is going to be my co-host when we do Trek Talks on January 14. I'll keep plugging Trek Talks. January 14.
Please.
TrekTalks.net is the place to go to find out more about Trek Talks January 14, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. Bonnie Gordon is going to be my co-host. And she, if you all know Bonnie, she's the voice of the computer on Prodigy,
Right.
I think.
Maybe?
A fabulous actor and also a marvelous singer and performer. And she's written any number of fabulous songs about Star Trek. We're going to have some of them on the show that day. So I defer to her skill sets when it comes to parody songs.
I just listened to an interview with her. I'm thinking of on the 5-Year Mission podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was just on that one. So that is who I'm thinking of. That's awesome.
Exuberant redhead.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I was listening, but that's what I was picturing.
Exuberant.
You can at least catch that. The visual, maybe
Right.
not, but
I got the exuberance. Yes, I did.
I got to. That was actually one of the highlights in my year. We were at a convention in Baltimore. The guy they'd wanted to come fell through, so I was a last-minute replacement. But my table was next to Bonnie Gordon, and I got to know Bonnie, and I just adore her. She's just such a lovely person. So
Awesome.
so
Good
you
deal.
mentioned that you've had to have that time to like get into the headspace of like someone who takes pleasure in damaging people who's not Phlox. So how did you like take that when you had to play Mirror Phlox? Was there a similar thought process, or is that
the only thing I thought was, well, the one thing that is true probably for all Phloxes everywhere is they take great delight in life, whatever that life is. So I thought this Phlox just takes great delight in vivisection.
Oh my God, so true. Could you do? You flash him with the one scene, and he's just like, "What? I'm busy."
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what is he doing?
And I haven't seen those episodes, so it's quite possibly I could be remembering them incorrectly. But my memory of it was that Dr. Phlox in the Mirror Universe is in a weird way every bit as happy.
yeah, he is.
Whereas the other characters were sort of tortured. That Dr. Phlox was
Right. He was just happy being a sadist.
He was still married.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was still married. So,
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. So, question: if is there anything real life John Billingsley that you were able to pull into playing Dr. Phlox that comes to mind?
Oh yeah, well that is just it. I think Dr. Phlox had a sense of humor. I mean, I think Dr. Phlox found the variety of life, the variety of experience to be endlessly amusing, wryly amusing. I mean, whereas John Billingsley would bring the fart machine onto the set, Dr. Phlox would love it.
Whoopee cushions on the bridge. Archer goes to sit down.
Exactly. John Billingsley had probably more of a low vaudeville sense of humor at certain times than Dr. Phlox did, but I think we share a certain delight in everything. You can kind of go like, really? Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! I mean, as I remember in an early episode, it was like there were a couple of the crew members were seemingly falling in love, and Dr. Phlox said something to the effect of, "Do you think they're going to fornicate? Could I watch?"
Yeah. Yep.
Or when Mrs. Phlox said,
Right in the mess
she
hall
wanted to
too.
sleep with Connor, and I said, "Ooh, a rose petal bath! How could you turn that down?"
I remember. Fiesel,
There
wasn't
he
her
is
name?
going,
Fiesel or Fizel? Yeah, oh my God.
A wonderful actress whose name is escaping me, but I just adore her. Yeah, I mean, I was very blessed with that. I mean, honestly, I would not, in all candor, have wanted to play a Klingon, and I would not really have wanted to play a. I mean, it's interesting to play a Vulcan, and I certainly think Joe did a wonderful job, and obviously, I mean, nothing taken away from the wonderful actors who've gotten to play all the different various species in Star Trek history. I don't know whether we'll see a lot of Denobulans again. But for me, they couldn't have asked me to play a character that was more like, this guy's got a, he's got a philosophical attitude. He cocks a snoot at a bunch of things he thinks are silly. He's at the same time, he's also hyper competent, hyper compassionate. I mean, I didn't think any of what I'm talking about got in the way of him being excellent what he did. I wish we could have reached more people. That's the only thing I would say.
Oh, I hear you.
Early
No,
on, I
absolutely.
think we got the sense that Dr. Phlox, had a gajillion and one odd little tricks up his sleeve. I'm going to leech this, and I'm going to make a different potion out of this and that and the other. And can you get me a grub? And I'll put that in there, and now drink that. But unfortunately, on network television, it
Big
eventually falls to, meh, I've scanned you, meh, I gave you a shot, and you're all fixed. And, I wish we'd been able to go further with the idea that he was completely holistic.
Yeah, those are
Right.
some of my favorite
Yeah.
moments in the show where he just pulled out something
Right.
completely random. Like, huh?
I think it was one of the things for me, and I talk about this a lot, that I feel like the one thing that was interesting to me about the show that I wish we'd been able to go further with was, as the first crew, the weapons malfunction. We didn't trust the transporter. We thought that there was a pretty good likelihood we wouldn't come back alive. And when we met alien species, it was a first encounter every goddamn time. I almost wish they'd gone farther with the idea. It was like, whoa, all right, whoa. I kind of think that was the intent, but I think they kind of backed off of that fairly quickly. And in a way, I wish that they had. As a for instance, this is an episode that I always tell this story. I'm not even sure if it's true, but it's a good story. My memory is that one of the very first passes at one of the early episodes, the first script, we're not allowed to see the first drafts. The producers are afraid that actors will call and say, "Hey, I'm not in this one enough." They don't want us. They don't want to hear from us until they absolutely have to. So the first draft of the script is not floated to the actors. However, because I was, as I said, only in a few days in a lot of episodes, and I was wanting to cherry pick and get other jobs, which the producers were kind enough to let me do, I had a source in the hair trailer, and he'd let me look at the first drafts. So I would read the first drafts. And the first draft of one of the episodes, there's a malfunction in the transporter, and one of the crewmen comes back from the surface. We didn't like to use the transporter at all, but we did. And he comes back, and his ass is where his head should be. Ah! Everybody's freaking out. By the time we get the final script and we're ready to shoot, it's like he comes back and there's a twig sticking out of his head. Oh dear, there's a twig sticking out of his head. I was like,
oh my God.
And I thought, how many people read that script and said, you can't have his ass where his head is going to be? That's insane. You can't have that. That's too scary. No, that's not Star Trek. That was my problem with the show.
See, I would have loved that if they did that.
Right, yes. Twigman, how are they going to fix him?
That was one of the
real
things
too
that I
big
was
situation.
About
you don't fix them, and that's the problem. It's like, now it's like crewman asshead is going to be
the ass man. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, the inevitable question, I'm sure you get drilled down with at cons all the time, and you're like, ugh. But I would love to hear it firsthand. If word came down that they wanted Phlox back on screen, what do you think?
I would not be averse to that. I mean, here's the thing: that makeup is an ordeal.
Right.
I'm not going to do it for guest star salary. I have been a series regular, and I have been a guest star, and there is a disparity in the pay. I'm happy to be a guest star on many television shows. I've been a guest star on many, many television shows. I would not probably wear prosthetics for a guest star salary.
Oh, agreed.
If they wanted to bring me back, now I could recur. I could do a little arc of 6 episodes, and they could pay me somewhere in between those 2 amounts. Not to be mercenary, but the makeup is a pain in the ass.
Right. How do you get a little something for the pain and suffering? I understand.
Yeah, exactly. I need a lanyap.
Yeah.
What I really love is do the voiceover. It's like, have me on one of the animated shows.
Well, that was the other thing I was going to mention. Yeah,
because it's it's been a long, long time.
They tossed in Prodigy, the Nickelodeon animated program that's on right now. They did toss a Denobulan into that show, and he was not a fun character like Phlox. I thought he was kind of obnoxious myself. Nowhere near. I didn't even pick him out as a Denobulan at first. Peter and I do a biweekly show, and Peter pointed out to me. I was like, "What? Are you serious?"
We are a little understood species is the problem because one, not frankly, not a ton of people watched Enterprise. So I think some of the people who are kind of like conjuring Denobulans is like, not whereof you speak.
Right.
And this is the other idea I pitched. They never accepted any of my ideas, which I totally understand because they were all kind of silly. But I thought, hey, we picked up an abandoned Denobulan spacecraft. there's been some horrible catastrophe or like just we've broken down in space. And it's a whole bunch of denobulans and they come flooding onto the ship and they're all like total slobs. They leave their underpants lying around. They don't finish all their food. It's just messy and disgusting. It's like having Oscar Madison
It's like
to the nth degree. And they all look
Animal House.
And they all look like
it's a fraternity.
yeah,
Oh
except
God!
they all look
Oh
like,
no!
So I was
They're all
trying to
your kids.
I was trying to set it up so that every denobulan looks like me. So for the future, if they ever have they'd have to cast me. They saw
Right.
it.
Built in.
They saw right through me.
All right.
And-
Darn.
Right. Just like Tamura Morrison, who's Boba Fett, and he's all the clones in Star Wars, built in repeat performance.
Yeah, it's like, I would have given up. They all look like me, but it's like, okay, what if they just are all Oscar Madison? It's like the denobulans, they're fornicating in the hallways. It's like oh, what are you? Oh God, I can't turn around without stumbling over some broken fucking denobulan.
Literally.
I know, and I would have allowed them to bring back my favorite Star Trek music, which is dee 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 dee.
Oh no!
Because we didn't have enough episodes that kind of had that dee 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 quality,
Yep.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Well, I've always long believed that one of the things that made the first show, the original series, so successful was possibly some of the best incidental music in the history of America.
Agreed.
I mean, those little tunes in my head, the Spock in Loves.
Yeah, right.
Sparks in Love.
My God, I moved.
I know. I mean, the original theme song is amazing. So many people hated our theme song. I'd swear that's what.
Oh my.
Why we were not successful is it's like nobody wanted a pop song leading into Star Trek. It was like, whoops. I understand.
One of those best memes out there is just a picture of Scott Bakula vibrating. Faith of the heart intensifies.
I did not. I didn't quite think that it was going to be as much of a. This is sort of a weird story. It's a little bit of a sad story. After 9/11, a couple of days after 9/11, I mean, obviously, yeah. What are you going to say? We shut down production for a day or so. Not enough, but we shut down production. So a couple of days, going to work, drive up to the studio, Paramount, and there are a bunch of people picketing outside the gate. And I thought, oh, what does Paramount have to do with 9/11? What could they possibly be picketing about? And I drive on, and it's a bunch of fans who are carrying signs saying, "We hate the theme song. We hate." No, that is like. First, of course, you think it's like you might want to wait like a week or two.
Yeah, right.
But two, it's like
read the room.
Really hate the theme song. I don't think
I've never
of hatred until that moment.
I've never made a picket sign for anything in my life, but it would certainly not be in protest of such a thing.
And not 3 days after 9/11 either. It's like,
right, exactly. Yeah, read the room. Read the vibe, and it's not hating on Faith of the Heart.
If there's anybody out there who hated it that much and they showed up to picket that day, I don't know what to say to you. I guess, I don't know what to say to you. Wow.
Wow.
Good for you and your passions, I guess.
Yes, that is a staggered silence from John Billingsley. I don't feel that at the time because I'm never entirely sure how to spin it without sounding like I'm kind of like being snotty, but I in the moment, I remember called my wife and said, "Bonnie, I just want you to hear this. Hold on a second." We hate the theme song.
Yeah, it's like 8 people picketing outside of Paramount today.
Oh my God!
Eight people. Wow, that's quite a crowd. Oh my God!
Hey, I mean, you could get 8 people that would agree. It's like I think we should go do this on September 13th.
Oh my gosh! To get 8 Star Trek fans to agree to anything is pretty miraculous.
Well, and all these years later, whatever this is, 20-umpteen years later, I still, it is still like you can almost get the 2 things that'll get people riled up about our show is 1, they killed Trip. Oh, spoiler alert! And
damn it!
Yeah, and
spoiler
2, people hated the last episode and people hated the theme song. It's almost like the rest of the show, all the way in between the premiere and the finale. It's like, yeah, well, but I hate that.
And a bunch of stuff happened. Well, I'm going to take an impromptu question because you brought up the finale. Where do you stand with the finale?
Oh, I was of two minds. I mean, one, I felt badly for Rick and Brandon on one level because here they had shepherded through the franchise for all of these various iterations. I think that they were. It's not fair for me to say that they were tired or burned out. I don't think that's necessarily true, but they were not given a break between Voyager and Enterprise. They had kind of, I think, asked Manny Cotto to come in and do a lot of the work in the last couple of seasons so they could get a little bit of a breather. I went in upon occasion to their offices and, the blackboard where it's what they called the crusty cheesies, all the ideas that had been pitched a bajillion times and the shows they'd done a bajillion times.
Yeah, right. That was always the vibe I got.
Yeah, I think at the very end, I think what they were trying to do is figure out a way to say, for all they knew, it was the end of the franchise. They certainly thought it was the end of their run at the franchise. So I understood their impulse to try and do something that felt a little bit like putting a bow on the whole fucking thing. However, obviously, I felt, as everybody else did, that it was probably not much of a great shake to our show. And we had been on 4 years. We did have our own fans. We did have our own stories to tell. We did have our own relationships. And to a certain extent, being kind of relegated to let's get the next gen guys to look through their magical glasses back into the past and see what happened on that show Enterprise was like, whoops.
Yeah.
It was big whoops.
Yeah, it was big whoops. I think Jonathan felt it. I think they would acknowledge it too, in all candor.
I think they did. I think there was like an apology at some point later.
I think Brandon has sort of felt like, but here's the thing, and why I started where I started is, in a weird way, it's human of us to kind of want to point to the whoops and say, but for fans, I'd say from Next Gen through Deep Space through Voyager, Rick and Brandon played significant roles in hours and 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 hours of great entertainment. And I just sometimes kind of feel like I always want to make sure that it's that we don't dwell on. It's like I have whoopsed about a gajillion times in my life. So.
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. My. Anyway, I stole my thunder away. I'm going to steal it back.
But I will tell you, I'm going to tell you one more story about that because this also made me.
Please, oh God, by all means.
I was always really bound and determined to not say anything negative about anything, about anybody in the press. Because one, I just don't think it's polite, and two, it's I'm not an idiot. Now that I'm semi-retired, I don't give a flying fuck, so I'll say whatever I want. But at the time, it's so TV Guide calls. TV Guide's what's your reaction to the finale? Well, blah, 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 just like I just did, blah, 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 blah. But, so of course, they don't quote anybody else. They just quote John Billingsley said, meh. It's I was the nicest goddamn actor on that show. I never said shit if I had a mouthful, and I'm the one who's on record as going, meh, in TV.
That's a big quote.
Man, inspiration for Beckett
goes to show you, don't let down your guard with the yellow press.
Oh boy!
At this stage in my career, the yellow press couldn't. It's I should be so lucky the yellow press would be interested. I can't even get the green press or the blue press.
It's all off colors.
Not that you guys do not represent in your own way a bit of a small media empire, which of course you do.
We are working on it.
I understand that, and I realize as the words were coming out of my mouth that they might have sounded.
Doesn't bother me.
All right, where did we end up, kids?
I shanghaied you. You're talking about the last episode.
No,
by all means.
This is the Shanghai surprise. Maybe that's what we'll call this interview. Hiya!
Fabulous. I've been known actually at interviews. Somebody asks one question, they never get another question to ask because I'll just riff for an hour. So look, you guys are doing great.
Well, our interview with another Star Trek actor ran over by about 45 minutes because we couldn't shut him up, and we were glad to have it happen.
Who's that?
I don't know if I can say.
Oh, yes, you can, because I could find it in the files. I could just
snip it out. You just snip it out. You'll be fine.
It was Doug Jones. We just haven't published it yet. And having this great conversation and thinking about your
he
event.
was probably like erudite, wasn't he? He was erudite and charming and sophisticated.
He does do that. He's a close personal friend of Missy's, actually.
Oh, okay.
And she started us on this journey. And actually, this
the
interview,
theme song, by the way.
What you know? What
adores the minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Patty likes to rock and roll. A hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet! I am Patty, and Doug Jones is Kathy. Birthday cousins. I'm singing more than I usually do on an interview.
Oh my gosh, how do we do it? I'm sure it has nothing to do with martini, and it's after Christmas.
This is my first martini, though. You know what? It's Christmas.
Oh.
It's Christmas.
It is Christmas. Well, I was going to say that.
Let down my guard. I am.
Oh my goodness! It's going to turn into SFU After Dark. Well, what I was saying was with your event coming up, we weren't sure when we were going to drop this interview, but I'm going to advocate that we should get this out pretty soon because we want to do what we can do to lend our voice to helping support your event. So I think that.
And let me say, some of the wonderful guests will include Jonathan Frakes, Armin Shimmerman, Terry Farrell, Nana Visitor, Brannon Braga, Bob Picardo, on and on I could go. Last year we had 50 column Star Trek guests.
Holy cow, it's like its own little convention. All right, and you'll fly us all out there. It'll be great.
The ugly ones. Exactly, that's what it is. It's a Star Trek convention. And the only price of admission is to make a donation to the Hollywood Food Coalition, which I want to speak to just really briefly so people understand the organization I work for and what I'm doing. Hollywood Food Coalition, I've been involved with it for about 6 years. Essentially, we help thousands of people every day who are combating poverty in the Los Angeles area. We serve a hot, nutritious multi-course meal to all comers 7 nights of the week. We also that is a big gulp. We also
I know. Do you like this thing? And that's why I mute it.
Yes.
That's what I muted so you don't hear the ice cubes because I got yelled at more than once. So here, I'll set it down.
Hoisted a gargantuan barrel. It took my attention.
I know.
That martini.
It was family Christmas around here today. My sister-in-law was here and says, "That's all vodka, right?" I said, "How did you know?"
This is a martini glass. That is not a martini glass. That is a martini.
It's just water. I just like to stay hydrated, or do yes.
I digress. I'm breaking the Hollywood Food Coalition story up into bite-sized bits. We also rescue about 2 million pounds of food a year, and we share it with about 130 other not-for-profits to help augment and buttress their meal programs. We provide emergency services for lots of folks in the community, and we try and kind of provide a level of connectivity so that a variety of other not-for-profits who are doing a variety of different things that might help people in need can kind of start working together more collaboratively, what we kind of call our community building program. So it's a wonderful organization. I'm very, very proud of it. I'm very proud of the work it does. And on the 14th, we will, as I say, have a ton of wonderful folks. But a lot of the conversations will also be about the nature of what I think is really cool about Star Trek is so many people, fans and celebrities, do so much for their community. So one of the panels, for instance, is going to be called Trektivism, and it's going to be a chance for instance, Armin, Kitty, and Jonathan to talk about the wonderful work they do to combat pancreatic cancer. Some fans are going to be talking about some of the work they do, and throughout the whole event, we're going to kind of be there will be hijinks. Don't get me wrong. There'll be music interludes, there'll be hijinks, there'll be low vaudeville, but there'll also be a lot of conversation about what it means to be somebody who really buys into what Star Trek's philosophy is all about. The idea that we come together and we set aside a lot of the stuff that is petty and small and stupid to focus on what it means to work together for the common good. And the meaningfulness of the franchise means a lot to me. I'd make a lot of jokes, but it really does mean a lot to me to be somebody who gets to represent what I think Star Trek values are. And Rod Roddenberry is going to be on the show. He's going to take us up.
Awesome.
The top.
How exciting. Well, yes, we will. You've completely changed my view. We're going to get this out well in advance of January 14 because we want to do what we can to support what is an absolutely awesome cause. So yes, I will change my plans for Phil Phlox as it is. As you say it.
It's the concept that my guy's actually Phil Phlox. I know he isn't Phil Phlox, but I've been saying it for.
I know.
I've come to believe he's Phil Phlox. It's just
I picked myself up on it. I like it. So, well, guys, I have no idea where we are with the interview. Missy, is it your turn? I can't remember.
I'm actually going to push it forward to Peter to jump into some other fabulous career stuff with Stargate SG-1.
Yeah.
SG-1.
Yeah. So I finally got around to watching Stargate SG-1 recently, and just an episode came along, and it was like, there he is. It's John Billingsley. So what was it like being on SG-1 and making like those Star Trek references in the middle of filming Enterprise?
Yeah, exactly. I still don't know quite why they were so generous, because this is very unusual in this business. I was a series regular. I was under contract. They didn't have to give me any kind of out. But I was frequently, either barely in an episode. There were a few episodes I wasn't even in. And I would go to them. Again, I got the scripts in advance. I would kind of go to them and subtly say, on the off chance that I might not be in this next episode, if I get another gig, because I might have another opportunity, would it be okay if I... And they would say yes. So I was much more ambitious then. I'm so not ambitious anymore. But I was like, I'm not in this next episode. Can you get me a gig? Keep looking around. So I did a movie called Out of Time. I did Angel. I did a bunch of things while I was on the show, including, what's it called?
Stargate SG-1.
Very memorable.
That other show, including Stargate. And it was kind of wonderful because, one, it was a night and day experience as opposed to Star Trek where, and I loved being on the show, but they're very rigid about the words. It's, you don't leave out a participle. It's almost like doing West Wing or any Aaron Sorkin show. Whereas what's that other show called?
Stargate.
Whereas on Stargate, it's like they were completely improvisational. They were so relaxed. And the guy I was working with, Patrick McKinnon, who's a wonderful Canadian comic and marvelous talent, they basically just let us fucking play.
Nice.
So it was great. It was a great vacation from Star Trek, and I loved working with him. Yeah. Unfortunately, they brought him back, but they did not bring me back.
I know. When I saw him show up on screen, I was like, where is he? And you didn't appear. And I was like, oh, man. Because I could tell you were having a blast, and I just wanted to see it.
I had repressed the name of, what's it called?
The show that shall not be named.
With that MacGyver spinoff, what was it? Stargate? Yeah. Wasn't he the main guy? Was MacGyver the main guy in that show? Yeah.
He had a great contract. I mean, he was the show. So, right. When the show started, he was the show. So he had this great contract that he basically only had to work Monday from 9 to 3. I exaggerate.
He had your 6 days off song then.
Yes, he totally. And he had a private plane. So when he sang the song, it was as his plane was lifting off the tarmac. Right. Off and the tracks still come by.
Oh, yay!
It was like, wow. So, it made for an interesting schedule because, everything had to be very carefully engineered to keep him on set for the minimum amount of time. Yeah.
Nice. So on to another show that you appeared in. What was it like when you were on The Orville, especially since you were an antagonist and opposite Robert Picardo? So we had two Trek doctors going after each other.
First off, let's say this. One, Bob got cast on The Orville because he's Bob Picardo. I had to audition for The Orville.
Oh, man, really?
So much for being John Billingsley, yeah. That and a nickel by a Clark bar in 1949.
Ouch. Yeah. Stone cold.
So, however, I will say I really wanted to do the show. So I actually, worked hard on the audition. I got cast. I'm sure when they saw my tape, they probably also went, oh, yeah, right. That guy. Yeah, he was on Star Trek too. Oh, he was a doctor. Oh. But it wasn't as if they thought of that in advance.
Oh, man.
Sometimes what's always interesting is of course, Then they'll spin it. It's like, both the doctors, isn't that clever? It's like, you didn't think of that. I had to jump through 18,000 hoops to get that far. Also, Seth MacFarlane, who I understand is up for an Emmy, a Golden Globe, probably a Golden Globe. I can't remember. He's up for some like best director of an episode.
Oh, really?
Because although he was not the director of that episode, was there every second of every minute of every hour of every day. He is a Seth, are you listening? No.
He's out there. He's totally out there.
He's a control freak. God bless him. But, however, he also supposedly could do an amazing Dr. Phlox impersonation, and I hectored and badgered him, and he would never fucking do it.
Oh man, no fun.
He was even on your show. He was an engineer on the Columbia season 4.
Oh, that's right. I don't remember him from that, but that's all right.
He showed up twice.
Well, there were no scenes unless he started badgering you back then. But he was an example of someone who was a super fan.
He wasn't badgering me. I was badgering him. It was like, I want to hear the Dr. Phlox impersonation, motherfucker. He wouldn't do it.
Just like that. Oh my goodness.
Eventually, if I trash him enough in these podcasts, the word's going to get back to him.
Maybe he'll finally do it.
Please come and do track talks, because you would be a huge get for us, and you could generate some revenue for the Hollywood Food Coalition. And 2, you could do your Dr. Phlox impersonation for everybody.
Live. I love it. There you go. And I would love to believe that somehow something that we do reaches the ears of just the regular rabble that listens to our show.
Yeah, I know. I believe me. We tried really hard to get. We are going to have a couple of, I should say, really big gets that we're going to announce at the beginning of the year, kind of like our 2 capstone guests. But I can't say who they are. But I'm very excited to be able to tell the world that we got la 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 la.
Oh yeah, I heard charge.
MacFarlane next year. I'm coming
next year.
God damn it!
I'll get you.
I'm gonna get you.
You don't want to ask me about my career as a child molester on television? I'm surprised.
I think that's the next question, actually.
Oh boy! All right, yeah. Come on, Missy. Let's chat it up.
Damn you and your mind reading skills. I being maybe perhaps one of the rare John Billingsley fans that love kind of the enmeshment of both sides of everything. And besides Dr. Phlox, my next favorite character is when you were Egan Foote from The Nine. So like the psychology behind it, obviously I have I'm kind of like Dr. Phlox, I have like 8,000 degrees, but whatever. The psychology of like getting into a character that in their very first scene is basically like, give me your money or I'm going to go kill myself in your bathroom and fuck you, deal with it. To like,
ouch.
A few days later, a new look on life, and essentially one of the heroines of the show, like how to go through that emotionally as with a character.
I loved that show. There are weird times in a career when I've had a nice career. I have no regrets. I mean, I've gotten to make a nice living as an actor my whole life. But there are times when you feel like there's a brass ring, and if you grab it, it's going to take you up another notch on the career ladder. And that was one of those shows I thought, this is this will be a game changer, because that character was so, again, it's the writing. Just like I loved Dr. Phlox because he was so buoyant. Egan Foote was going, of all the characters, and the show was about change, for those of you who didn't watch it, who didn't share Missy's appreciation for it, because it was only on for a nanosecond before it got canceled. The premise was that a bunch of people were abducted, a bank robbery goes awry, and we see in the first half hour of each episode in real time a half hour of what happens during this protracted 48-hour hostage taking. We know shit goes down. We know some people don't survive, but we don't quite know what's going on. The second half hour of each episode, we flash forward and we see the survivors getting on with their lives. And it's apparent that I was, in some way, shape, manner, or form, one of the heroes that saves the day. This Nebbish, who at the beginning of the show, as Missy says, is somebody who comes in to try and get a bank loan for a preposterous reason, to get a boat, because he's so sad about his pathetic life that maybe a boat would help. And he's carrying around a gun thinking he might commit suicide. But he becomes a guy whose life changes and who suddenly he leaves his wife. He starts dating people. He starts having adventures. He's still kind of a bit of an idiot, but he's having a high old time and making a lot of money doing it. To get to play a part on network television that is so full of surprise, that doesn't happen. Most shows, particularly on network, you watch NCIS, it's like the same. Season 2, the same. Season 3, the same.
Don't tell my mother she's been watching it all these years and she's thrilled by NCIS. Get it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's a workplace comedy, so to a certain extent, there's a sense of humor and a sense of playfulness, but fundamentally, it's you scramble the order in which you watch the episodes, it doesn't fucking matter. The 9 was
you get the first one, the last one, you're good.
Yeah, the 9 was about, which is true now for a lot of streaming shows. The 9 was about change. It was about change. It was about the nature of change and how change, is unexpected and radical and yet something that cannot be avoided in life. And it broke my heart when it was canceled. I knew it was going to be the premiere. Our ratings were completely in the toilet. Show that everybody in the preseason had raved about, collapsed.
Ouch. Yowza.
But then, we made 4 seasons. Out of Time, which was a movie that I got a lot of good notice for with Denzel Washington, flopped. I've pretty much only been in flops.
Well, the Flox flop. Did I just coin the term?
Flox flop. There you go. That's right.
Flox flop. You love it.
But the thing is, one flop to another, you can still have a career, which is what I've discovered.
Yeah, there you go.
Sinking everyone as you go. No, I'm just kidding.
I was in Rust Star. Exactly. Like when you hop from iceberg to iceberg, it's like.
I was, I was gonna make a Titanic analogy, but you went ahead and did it for me.
I'm quick on the analogy.
I love it.
You don't want to be that guy though, that you show up on set.
Shows, but it's not like they wanted to marry me. They just wanted to fuck me and send me on my way. By the way, are children listening to your program?
All of we're actually broadcasting this live in an elementary school. I don't know what they're doing,
Fabulous.
In class this time of day. But yeah, I live right behind an elementary school. I'm going to turn up the speakers and put it right there. Yes, you can't hear.
Educated early on to how coarse adults can be.
Oh my God. So speaking about some of those roles, the great varied career, the Flox Flop, alien doctor, suicidal savior, gangbanging vampire in True Blood, serial killer on Cold Case. What's the dream role that is out there for Phil Flox? Mr. Billingsley. You said you were in semi-retirement, but what would grab you?
Yeah, I am kind of in semi-retirement, and consequently, I don't tend to think that way because it becomes sort of, it becomes wistful, for me to start thinking about, wouldn't it be great? I don't like to spend my time that way. I love my life. I love to read. I love my partner. I love my pals. I really like working for the Food Coalition. I'm happy to work when work comes my way, but the reality is I'm like, fat old four-eyed, balding 62-year-old guy, and they ain't writing a lot of parts for people like me. So, if I get opportunities, huzzah. And if I don't, huzzah. And I spend no time worrying about, such things as, the ideal role. I just don't.
It's a huzzah kind of world.
Yeah, it's we spend a lot of our time. Did you ever read The Power of Now? A book that is to me a little the language can be a little off-putting because he's a little woo-woo. But his fundamental argument, I think, is very well made, and has become consequently this huge and somewhat, I think, important book about how to think about life. And he, essentially, as we spend a shitload of time thinking about what was, and getting mad and sad, and what could be, and being aspirational, and not just living here, where we are in the moment, enjoying our lives. And I really put a lot of value on just like, here I am.
Yeah.
Right. Love it. Good stuff.
As best one can. It's a hard thing to do in life, It's not how we're built.
No.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I still like to act. Don't get me wrong. I still audition, and when I get something, particularly if it's interesting, I enjoy it. I had a nice little, few days on Pam and Tommy, playing a really scabrous lawyer, and
Well, that show was wild.
yeah. I'm the lawyer for Penthouse who,
Right. No, I remember now. Yeah. My
and
goodness.
that that was like just like, ooh, yuck, but it was still
Yeah, right.
fun to do.
So much yuck in that show. It was hard to pick it
but
out.
but interesting in that it's a show that you kind of like. I found it fascinating because one, you kind of feel like, oh, they shouldn't do this. How daft they this Pam Anderson didn't give permission for this, and aren't they just exploiting her in the name of saying isn't exploitation bad? But then the show kind of turns itself back around and says, we're cognizant of the fact that you could say to us, we are exploiting her while saying exploitation is bad, and yet you're watching.
Shame on you.
It's gone.
And we
It's
are
gone all the way
all-
around.
Yeah. Is it possible to not be exploitative? Is it so baked into our experience as human beings and as people who eat entertainment that we can't,
Right.
there's not a one of us that isn't hypocritical. And,
Right.
and
Mhm.
Oh my
I thought it
gosh.
was I thought it was a very smart show when all was said and done, and she was great. I don't know if you saw it, but the woman who played Pam Anderson, this really quite lithe and willowy English actress, whose
Right.
name
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Was it Lily Allen? Was that her name?
Lily somebody. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
embarrassed.
Lily somebody. I remember the Lily part. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that very much. And it was Sebastian Stan. It was Tommy.
Yeah.
Bucky from the MCU. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I'm on a show, an Apple show that's coming out in the spring called Manhunt, about the hunt for Lincoln's assassins. Which, although I didn't have a huge part, that was in like 3 episodes. But another show that I thought was smart and interesting and beautifully cast, beautifully designed. I do appreciate, I mean, that weirdly we're living, as an actor, we're living in the golden age of television. I mean, there's so much good stuff out there. If you have to pay a gajillion dollars to get all the different channels between Hulu,
Right.
Apple, and HBO, and Showtime, and Netflix. But I grew up, and it was like ABC, CBS, and NBC. It was like, hee-haw, the Beverly Hillbillies or Ironside. What's your choice?
Beverly Hillbillies, because I don't know that other show.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Right.
However, oddly, the economics of the industry are infinitely more problematic for actors and directors for a lot of reasons.
I'm sure.
Certainly, the residual stream and the nature of the way residuals work. It's we've all of us on the talent side have taken a big hit over the course of the last 15 years. I'm glad I got my bones in when I did.
I hear you.
I digress.
I hear you. Not at all. All right, kids. What else do we have?
Well, is there anything in a role that's a deal breaker for you? Like, just nope, not going to do it.
I'm a lefty, so generally speaking, if
Same here.
Those politics, if I think what they're essentially doing is trying to espouse a right wing point of view. I mean, I will, and even then, I can't say. I did 24.
Oh, one of my favorite shows.
But that's the thing. 24 was so well made that you kind of swallowed, its torture's okay lesson. And
Yeah.
And there was a big part of me that was like, I shouldn't do this. Because even in Enterprise, in the 3rd season, as I've often referenced, there was an episode in which Scott Bakula is going to push somebody into the airlock if he doesn't divulge the information or give
Right.
Oh yeah.
material or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it was. And it was like, we just crossed a little bit of an ethical line into 24ism, which, the ends do justify the means, which I had a problem with.
Right.
So even as I say, generally speaking, it's the politics that will make me pass on something. I can't say I'm an absolute purist about it. But 9 times out of 10, you get an audition and you look at the material, and if you pass, it's either because you pass because, one, there's no money, or you pass because you think it's juvenile. I don't tend to want to do horror movies. They don't interest me, and I just find them frequently. I think they're misogynistic. And if something is to me kind of like too right wing or kind of is essentially asking, is proselytizing in a right wing fashion, I'll pass on that. And they're also, I've passed on. It also, I was really active. I was a board president of the Hollywood Food Coalition, so I was really active for a number of years. I mean, I was working 40 to 50-hour weeks to try and help grow the organization. And so I turned things down because I just had other fish to fry. So sometimes it's just a function of I've got a life,
Yeah.
This is, I mean, ironically, because my father went on to live another 13 years. But when I was on, what was that vampire show called? True Blood. Yeah. I don't remember the names of anything. What's my wife called? Bonnie.
What's my line? Yeah, there you go.
None of you knew the answer, Bonnie.
I did. It was in the script here.
You're spoiling our next question already. Yeah. This mind reading stuff.
when I was doing True Blood in the second season, they had this season-long orgy. A sorceress had us all in her thrall. And so we were doing all sorts of unspeakable things. And apparently in the last episode, I was a guest star. So they used me a lot, but I was a guest star. I wasn't under contract. Apparently in the last episode, they were going to use me quite a bit. I didn't know that. They hadn't told me. And I had arranged to take a cruise with my dad, who was 80 years old. And I thought, at the time he had dementia. I wasn't sure how many years he had left. And so they said, hey, actually, we have a significant part for you in the last episode. It was like, boy, I wish you'd told me. I kind of asked you earlier in the year to give me a heads up because I wasn't like I completely blew you off. I knew the dates would conflict and you never got back to me. So I made this trip and I'm not going to cancel it now. And they pretty much kind of like wrote me out after that. I appeared a little bit after that, but it was like, but this business always wants you to say you'll do anything. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. My first priority is to my partner and my loved ones and to a certain extent what I feel like I need to be doing to feel like a good citizen. And then I like my work in that order.
Awesome. That's good, man. We should all be so balanced, for real. That's great.
And then masturbation, number 5. Now that I know that you
not take care of business, that's biology.
That's number 5. Many years ago, it was number 1, so it's kind of slid down the list.
That reminds me of that Steve Martin SNL bit. He said, "And for all the kids of the world, and blah blah blah. First of all, I really want an extended 30-day orgasm. Then the crap about the kids," and he keeps revising it as it goes.
Steve Martin was a genius. He was just, he's still, of course, fabulous, but his stand-up was so...
Oh, yeah.
He also wrote a wonderful memoir about being a stand-up. I don't know if you've read it or come across it. I think it's called Born Standing Up.
Oh, boy.
I highly recommend it. It's really, really good.
Awesome. Good deal.
Well, speaking of...
I've taken us far afield from Star Trek. I realize that. If you want to try and...
Oh, no.
If you want to try and pull me back. Did you know what you were getting into? You may not have. You may not have. This is only my first martini. I swear to God.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! He's doing all the talking. No. Hey, wherever this goes, we're along for the journey because we have
all right,
guys.
Well, and gracious to be.
Do we have faith of the heart?
Gabriel is going to meet me at the pearly gates, and he's going to present me with a record of my podcasts.
Oh no!
Remember when you did this one? Remember what you said here?
Oh my God! Did you know Seth MacFarlane is here and he's been waiting for you with brass knuckles?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! Oh, faith of the heart, Missy, back to you.
Speaking of the lovely wife Bonnie, you guys have actually worked together, including on Star Trek Enterprise. How do you guys actually mesh on screen and in work life?
I love working with Bonnie, and actually one of my very favorite things. Well, first, on the professional front, we've worked together maybe 8 or 9 times. We did one play together years ago. We've been on screen multiple times. She was my wife on the 9, and she auditioned for it independently of me. They cast her not knowing that I was married to her.
Good old Maryfoot.
Yeah, we were in a really dreadful children's film together called 12 Dogs of Christmas, which I heartily recommend. Is it possible to heartily disrecommend something? I heartily disrecommend it.
You just did it. I strenuously under-object.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I get a residual, so I really should not. I should not cut off my nose to spite my face. But, however, my one of my great joys, and we haven't gotten to do it much lately, is that she started coming to the conventions with me many years ago.
Ooh.
She initially said, "Now I'm going to stand in the back. Do not point me out. Do not talk about me. Do not call my name. You leave me alone. You leave me out of it." It's like, all right, whatever.
But I'm still going to go.
So, but well, yeah, and she came, and she's going to go, and why she wanted to watch, I don't know. She's supportive that way. So she was in the very back of the auditorium, and I was telling a story about Jolene being the gassiest actress on Star Trek, which she was. She ate cheese. She was very gassy. The dog was gassier, but she was gassy. And from the very back, I heard Bonnie. Who was a theater actress, so she could project, saying, "Pot calling the kettle black." It was like,
Oh!
I want to introduce Benita Friederici. I'm married to this woman, and from then on, she was on stage.
No.
She was part of the act, and so we found a mutual love. I think it surprised her more than it surprised me. We found a mutual love of low vaudeville. And we have been doing like a little doubles act, like Burns and Allen together for 20 years. So whenever we go to a convention, and they will let us, they're damned fools if they don't, we come on stage together with 2 microphones, and we run around the audience. She'll make people talk into an invisible microphone just to see if they will, and they will. We'll say, "Okay, I don't think they can speak up. Okay." We ask embarrassing questions of each other. This is something she doesn't entirely do, but this is what I do. Oh my God, she's here in the background. Bonnie, come here. Holy shit. Bonnie, come in and say hi. I was singing your praises.
Totally.
Come in and say hi to these nice people. Here she is.
Street days in costume.
Special guest appearance.
Well, hello there.
Hello, how are you?
Come in so they can see you.
They can see me.
They can't. No, you're a figure.
I'm behind, so you can't see
You're a figure
me,
in the
which makes
distance.
him very nervous. I can tell. Oh, no. Hey guys.
Aw. Hello. Welcome to our little program. We're having a hell of a good time.
As you asked Missy, she was a Borg.
I was Borgified.
She was Borgified.
Mhm.
Borgified, but not a Borg, because as we know with the Ferengian Enterprise, if you don't say the name of it, don't know who they are. They could be anybody. Why not? Borgish. Borg adjacent.
She was.
I was a legitimate
She
Borg.
was a legitimate Borg.
Oh, I know. They never said Borg, and that's how they get away with saying, "Well,
I
we can be
see.
Borg till later."
I see.
Yes. That was. I know I was going a little outside baseball, inside Trek ball, whatever. So sorry.
Inside Trek Ball, you were going. It's like, yeah, she was a Borg, and I got to show up on the set the day she was killed.
Yes, but I was a scientist first.
First, you were a scientist Rooney.
I was.
Right?
I was researcher Rooney.
Researcher Rooney.
In the Arctic Circle. You probably all know that. And we found the
Yes,
first
ma'am.
frozen Borg, who actually, his name was Mark, the gentleman who was the body that we uncovered. And during one of the takes, he got the snow, which was actually shaved plastic, up his nostrils, being buried under it.
Oh Lord.
And as I was brushing it off, he just sat up and he spat it all right on top of me. And we all burst out laughing because I just had like massive amounts of this stuff all over my face.
Borg snot.
It was,
Bonnie was covered in Borg snot.
yes.
Did they ever end up on a gag reel? Actually, a gag reel, because I'm gagging thinking about it. That would be an amazing take.
The stars never make the gag reels.
No.
It's just.
Aww.
I also, if you ever watch that episode, the costume I was wearing had a really big hood. So that
Right.
I turned my head to talk either direction. I just talked right into the hood. It was
So you had to like turn your shoulders all.
hood. Which
Private
I
conversation with myself.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Did you hear the part of the conversation?
Psych myself up.
Say hi.
Well, no, I'm intruding. I was just
You're not intruding.
I was just teasing him because this is what we do in our household. I heard something about
Aw.
not calling the kettle black.
You know that story very well. I was
Well-
talking about our history of doing low vaudeville on various Star Trek convention stages.
The circuit.
Now that's one of the very highlights of my life.
A standing ovation at FedCon.
Standing ovation in Germany.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
3,000 drunken
All about
Germans.
Yes, it is.
Drunken is a word.
Who knows what they'll clap for next?
Well, you can
Oh
say
my
drunk
gosh.
Germans
3,000 drunk Germans.
in an opera house.
I'm not sure
no
drunken
less.
is a word. Is drunken a word?
Well, it's drunken in past.
Sure it is.
We're drunken.
There you go.
All right.
It's in a song,
They had.
so it exists.
Well, drunken isn't a word. It's not like I did some.
Drunk.
I thunking about it.
I'm thinking about drunken, especially around the holidays.
English language is very confusing. Yes. Anyway, we
Very
We
confusing.
played a German convention, and they put us
It was
on
FedCon.
first night FedCon. They put us on after Nichelle Nichols and Edward James Olmos, two lovely, lovely people,
Right.
both of whom infinitely more serious than I am. And at 11 o'clock at night,
Which
after
is not hard.
to be. And after, some very, very serious social commentary from Edward James Olmos and Nichelle Nichols at 11 o'clock, every fucking German was passed out. It was like
Yes, 11 p.m.
11 o'clock. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I came on without my pants. Bonnie jumped up. She tried to put my pants on. And we proceeded to have very high discourse while performing very low vaudeville.
Nice.
I was just sitting in the audience reading a book while waiting for him to come on. And I'm sorry, I did interrupt because I did not at first think it was appropriate that you had no pants on. But
But
I kept trying to put them back on. And then eventually I turned
She
them
put
around
them on backwards. She tied the belt in fascinating
And
fashion.
then Mark B. Lee, we decided to teach the Germans that in the United States, you pants people.
When they arrive, when they get off the plane or the boat, as a means of welcoming them to America, the first thing we do is we pull them in strangers.
So we demonstrated how you do this.
You have the distractor who keeps the stranger to our strange land.
Like as Mark B. Lee walked by the host of FedCon, we just said, "Oh, Mark B. Lee, hello, I've got a call for you." And while he was taking the call on the phone, John got his pants
We
off.
got his pants down. He was a good sport. We got Mark B. Lee pantsed. Anyway, we ended with a standing ovation. 3,000 drunken Germans. Ha! And from then on in, I think that's when we really understood that we had something. And we
That's
had so much fun.
glorious.
I've been used to getting to be on stage with Bonnie.
We've had fun. I'm not sure it's something. Well, it's something for others, but I'm not sure what.
Oh, fuck it, they love it. The Saint
I
Father
feel
used
like
to
if this doesn't
say,
happen in
"Fuck with
Vegas,
it."
then I'm going to be very disappointed.
I know, right? I know. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. By the way, I established that no children are going to be watching this, just so you know, Bonnie. Bonnie's always wanting to make sure that I kind of make sure that my pitch is kind of based on, are there any children in the audience?
Well, he went to thank you for checking. He went to a children's party once with a T-shirt from a play he was in. It was a David Mamet quote that said, what was it?
I don't remember.
What's the quote? Come if I take a joke, or I fuck dogs, or I fuck goats. It was something
Oh,
like
fuck me, I'm a poodle.
that's it.
Fuck me, I'm a poodle.
On the back T-shirt,
It was
and
a qu-
he took his. He
It was
took
a quote. It was a quote from Satan, which, if you know
He was in a
Mephistopheles, is fuck me, I'm a poodle. It was funny.
It was from a play he was in. Then they gave him a T-shirt. But we were at this children's party, and John took off his sweatshirt, and I looked at the back.
Now
of
we
his
weren't
T-shirt.
surely we weren't at it. Why would we go to a children's
It
party?
was a party with
It
children.
was a party with children. That's a big distinction.
That was
A
Pleasant
children's party is different than a children's
Wait, but
party with
Oh my god!
It sounds creepy if you say we went to a children's party. It's like, why are we going there? What are we? We
Satanic
weren't even
shirts on,
invited.
it's
We
fine.
crashed it. It was like, Bonnie, I think there's a children's party. Like, hi, you
Oh
don't
my
know us,
God.
but we couldn't help but notice you were having a party for children.
This is our jam. Here we are.
I am turning red. You guys are killing me.
I'm sorry. I used the F-bomb. I didn't mean to.
I know.
didn't ask
I
if
can't.
that
This
was
is
okay.
outrageous, Bonnie. I can't fucking believe this. You come in here, you crash my very serious conversation. You drop the four-letter word that is prohibited in our house.
she's doing the Homer Simpson into a bush, and she's gone.
See, now, I know. It's like
Very nice to meet you, Austin.
Nice to meet you, Bonnie. Thank you. Bye, Bonnie. Oh my God. Oh, we are beyond off the rails. So let's.
good luck.
I give up.
Good luck getting us back.
Let's skip to the end, unless you guys, because I feel like
I
we
do have
covered
a question
everything.
that I do kind of want to
rendered
ask.
you speechless.
Oh my God.
So
Peter, please.
I just had a quick question. I'm involved in a fan audio show, and one of the guys I work with mentioned that you were in an audio program called the Left Right Game.
Oh yeah.
I was just curious, how did you get into that? What were your thoughts in it? Was it
Tessa
fun?
Thompson, the actress Tessa Thompson, is represented by my agency. So my agency, this is in a small ball realm, what sometimes happens in Hollywood, because she was doing this podcast, this show. She basically said, well, let my agency cast a lot of it. So my agent called me and said, you want to do this? I was like, yeah, sure. On a big ball level, this is what happens with a lot of major features. The stars will essentially, CAA will say, yeah, you can have so-and-so and so-and-so if we get to cast the bulk of the movie from our roster, which it's the only time I think I've ever actually experienced what that is like. For me, it was a $250 a day podcast. So, yeah. I've got a wonderful agent. I love my agent, but there's a hierarchy of agents, and CAA is like way up there.
The top of the mountain.
Yeah.
My goodness.
But yes,
I
I never listened to it, but I really was interested in it. I mean, I thought it was like fascinatingly creepy, and it was only the first, I believe, installment. I was killed off, so I don't know whether they went. Oh, spoiler alert! So I don't know whether they. It was a sleigh. It was a sleigh. Rosebud is a sleigh. So I have no idea whether they went on to do other.
They haven't done a next one yet, from what I've seen.
Well, they shouldn't wait too long. It's been like 2 years ago, so it's like
it was 2020. So
Charles Dickens churned it out a lot more frequently than that. Come on,
yeah,
right, gang, come on.
Oh, my goodness, Missy, why don't we jump to your last question, because we're starting to wind down on time, unfortunately.
Just a little plug for Star Trek Las Vegas this year. I'll be going again. I am super excited to be there, to be seeing yourself, Mr. Billingsley. And frankly, I think that if you and Bonnie don't get that skit, I'm going to kind of be pissed. I think I'll be dropping some...
well, you know what?
Yeah.
Creation never puts me on stage with Bonnie because...
rude.
Creation puts me on stage with Dominic and Connor and Anthony and Linda. Blah, blah,
Same
blah.
as last year. Or this year.
Oh, boy.
I make complete fun. I love those guys, and I love appearing with them. But no, and then they also they have a moderator. When Bonnie and I appear, we don't have a moderator.
that's when it's more fun.
You have to go to one.
Right.
You have to go to one of the fan run. I know there aren't as many as there used to be. Fan run conventions or European conventions. Creation, much as I love them, much as I appreciate them, much as I think it's wonderful they have a convention that so many guests attend, you won't see Bonnie and I on stage together.
It's a little bit too buttoned up, huh?
Bonnie and me. I try and unbutton them, mind you. Don't get me wrong. I don't.
Right.
I don't. I'm just as unvarnished on stage with everybody else as I am with Bonnie, but.
But you managed to keep your pants on this last year, I noticed.
Yes. Well, and thankfully on this podcast too.
You should go on the cruise. My pants came off on the cruise.
I'm gonna be on the cruise. Are you gonna be on the cruise in 2023?
There you go. And I hope Bonnie's going to come. I hope Bonnie's going to come on the cruise too. So,
well, you'll have to let her know that my wife and I are going to be there, and I'm sure that will change her mind.
On the cruise, I might be able to kind of like finagle an appearance on stage with her. I think I might be able to.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Holy cow. Well, this has been astonishing, guys. Any last thoughts for Mr. Billingsley before we bid him adieu and let him talk
You call
about
me
his
Billingsley.
wonderful event one more time?
You called me Billingsley. I heard that.
It didn't happen. I threw my voice.
Yeah,
I
Billingsley.
threw my voice.
Jesus, you robbed me of my S.
Oh no! I'll give you your S back, Phil Phlox.
Heavens.
Before he gets a chance to talk about his event, just one more time. Peter, Missy, any parting thoughts for Mr. Billingsley?
Very good.
Just thanks for being with us. It's just been great. I'm a huge fan of the show, and whenever I see you on screen, it's just amazing. So it's just been great for me to be able to interact with you a little bit. So
Of course,
thanks
my
for
pleasure.
thanks for
Thank
being
you
here.
for having me. I hope I haven't been excessively irreverent.
No.
All right.
Not any more than we would want. So Missy is our ringleader. She makes these things happen. Missy, any parting thoughts before Mr. Billingsley kind of takes us out?
Two quick ones. First, I mirror and second what Peter said. And Star Trek Enterprise was actually the first Star Trek that I got to watch in its entirety as it was actively airing. And from day one, Dr. Phlox was my favorite. So this is like a little bit of a fangirl moment for me. So I very much appreciate you giving us your time.
My pleasure.
And secondly, in case it wasn't made clear during the introductions, Charlie here is actually Fleet Captain Charlie Carden and the Regional 13 coordinator that you spoke of so lovingly in your video.
That was at our annual meeting, and it was a complete surprise. Missy had let my wife April know about it, and we played it, and I was just, thank God the lights were off, because I was like 50 Shades of Red. I was like, I can't even believe this is happening right now. It was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Did you see the pornographic video or the non-pornographic video?
I had to watch that one later because there were children present.
Okay.
Yes, we had to apply the Billingsley filter with the kids present.
Okay. Well, then you've got a surprise ahead of you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Well, tell us a little bit more as we're on our way, just to cap it up, about January 14th, please.
Yes, I know. I'm not all irreverence. I have a somewhat more serious sensibility. Again, the Hollywood Food Coalition, an organization very dear to my heart. And in fact, for the better part of my life, I've always wanted to try and give some time back to organizations that work with people who are experiencing need. Our organization works with thousands of people every day, in essence, who are in need. And to raise money for the Hollywood Food Coalition, we are doing Trek Talks for the second year, Trek Talks 2 on January 14 from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening Pacific time. And you can find out more at trektalks.net. That will link you to Hollywood Food Coalition. It will link you to a site where you can donate in advance of the show. And it will show you all the different platforms and places you can go to watch the show on the day. It's a lot of fun. It's amazing guests, about 30 fabulous Star Trek guests. It's like going to a convention without having to pay for it, except it would be nice if you made a donation to the Hollywood Food Coalition. That's my spiel. Thank you for letting me share.
And that's a good spiel. Oh my God. Well, this has been great. And like I said, having this conversation just turned on a heel. We're recording this. We're about ready to launch our Secret Friends Unite podcast Patreon in the month of January. I'm going to get this show out very early in January before our launch, because I want to do everything that I can to support Trek Talks.
That would be much appreciated. That would be much appreciated. I'd actually thank you so much for that, because so much of this is about spreading the word. And if you guys have pals and you want to kind of just privately, or if you're doing social media, anything that anybody can do to kind of get the word out to the biggest possible Star Trek community, huzzah. Huzzah, huzzah.
Count on it. Like I said, I am part of the International Star Trek Fan Club, a region which includes Michigan and Eastern Canada. So I've got a lot of people under my command, as it were. I also run a chapter with my wife here in Michigan that is one of the biggest in the world. We have almost 100 members. So everybody will know about this event in short order. So for friends, what you've been listening to is a preview of the great content that you're going to hear as a member of the Secret Friends Unite Patreon.
Slightly less scabrous than
Potentially, yes. Our interview with Doug Jones
filtered tonight.
Right. It was our interview with Doug Jones. Maybe not as salacious, but maybe it is, and that's a reason enough for you.
It has long been my goal to provide the most salacious Star Trek interviews. If Doug Jones can beat my ass on salacity, that's not a word, then huzzah for him.
Ooh, Missy, you're going to have to pass that along since you are in Doug's ear. You're going to have to let him know the gauntlet is down. Oh my God!
I've never met Doug Jones, but bring it on, Doug Jones.
Oh my gosh! Oh my. Well, friends, as always, I'm going to thank you for joining us. Let you know that sharing is caring. Peter,
peace and long life, everyone.
Missy, time for you to come up with a catchphrase. Part of the team.
I'm going to steal yours and just say, keep on trekking.
Ouch. All right, friends. Thank you.
Optimism.
Oh, good.